Attention, passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. All right, folks, today we're diving deep into a story that has been making waves in the NFL, and more specifically in Cowboys Nation. It is a story that could redefine the future of the Dallas Cowboys, one that involves a legendary figure returning to the franchise in a way that nobody saw coming just a few months ago. Yes, we were talking about the intriguing possibility of Deion Sanders, the Hall of Fame cornerback, and one of the most charismatic personalities in all of football, making a return not just to college football but potentially to the NFL and more specifically to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I know what you're thinking, how does this fit into the current landscape of the Cowboys? Well, the signs are there, and the implications are enormous. So let us get into the details, the context, and what this could mean for Dallas fans and the NFC East as a whole. First, let us set the scene. The Dallas Cowboys, a franchise known for their iconic history, passionate fan base, and their reputation as America's team, have been navigating through a bit of an uncertain period lately. After the departure of Mike McCarthy and the hiring of Brian Schottenheimer as the new head coach, many fans are curious about what's next. Schottenheimer, a well-respected offensive mind, was promoted internally after a turbulent period with McCarthy. But the question remains, is he the long-term solution? Or is this just a transitional step while the franchise looks for a bigger move? The Cowboys have a lot on their plate, an aging quarterback in Dak Prescott, who has shown flashes but also faced criticism and injury setbacks, and a defense that, without Micah Parsons, struggles to maintain the consistency needed to compete at the highest level. And speaking of Prescott, let us be real. The Cowboys are at a crossroads with their quarterback situation. Dak has been a solid leader, but consistency and durability have been concerns. The franchise has invested heavily in him, and yet the competition in the NFC East continues to tighten. The Eagles are deep, the Giants are resurging, and the Commanders are always a wild card. The division is arguably the most competitive in the NFL right now, and for Dallas to break through, they need to elevate their game in every aspect: offense, defense, coaching, and leadership. Now, here's where the story gets even more interesting. Rumors have been swirling about Deion Sanders, affectionately known as Coach Prime, potentially making a move back to the NFL and more specifically returning to the Cowboys. It's not just idle speculation. There are real connections and recent developments that make this scenario more plausible than ever. You see, Deion Sanders played for the Cowboys from 1995 to 1999, earning a Super Bowl ring and leaving a legacy that is still celebrated in Dallas. His time there was marked by his electrifying play, his charismatic personality, and a championship-winning mentality that resonated with fans. Sanders has always spoken fondly of his days in Dallas, and his personality, larger than life, energetic, and deeply competitive, aligns perfectly with the culture that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have historically embraced. Recently, there have been reports confirming that Jerry Jones himself reached out to Sanders following the vacancy created by Mike McCarthy's departure. That's not something to overlook. Jones, known for his aggressive pursuit of star power and big personalities, saw in Sanders someone who could bring both on-field talent and off-field charisma. Sanders himself described the call as intriguing and delightful, hinting at least some level of serious consideration. It's not every day that a franchise legend gets a direct call from the owner about returning to coach the team, especially someone with Sanders' pedigree and personality. But it's not just about nostalgia. Sanders' return to Dallas, if it were to happen, would be about much more than just coaching. It's about the cultural impact, the energy, the leadership that he could bring to a team that has been searching for that spark. His magnetic personality has the potential to rejuvenate the locker room, energize the fan base, and perhaps even influence the team's development on the field. Imagine a coach who commands respect and attention both in the locker room and in the media, someone who can rally the team around a common goal, winning another Super Bowl. That's the kind of impact Sanders could have, and it's precisely what the Cowboys need if they want to stay competitive in this brutal division. Now, let us add another layer of complexity to this story. Sanders is currently coaching Colorado, where he signed a lucrative 5-year, $54 million deal that runs through 2029. Right, one of the highest paid coaches in college football. His tenure there has been nothing short of remarkable, transforming Colorado's program and making headlines with his energetic approach and ability to develop talent. His son, Shedeur Sanders, was a key part of that success, and Deion has often spoken about how much family means to him, especially in football. But here's the catch: Sanders has also been candid about the personal toll of coaching, especially after the tragic loss of his son Shedeur's brother and fellow quarterback, Shedeur, who is now with the Cleveland Browns. Sanders has said that losing his son has allowed him to step back and reflect, and that it has helped him manage the dual pressures of coaching and being a father. His recent statements suggest that Colorado has become more than just a job. It's a deeply personal journey. His contract at Colorado includes a buyout clause, which is a significant factor in this story. If Sanders were to leave before December 2025, he would owe a buyout of $12 million, quite steep, but not insurmountable for a franchise like Dallas that's always willing to spend big to win. After 2025, the buyout decreases gradually, making a move more feasible as time goes on. That means if the Cowboys were to want to make a splash, they could do so within a window where the financial cost isn't too prohibitive, especially considering the potential upside of hiring someone with Sanders' charisma and football IQ. But here's where it gets even more nuanced. Sanders has made it clear that he'd only consider an NFL coaching job if it allowed him to coach his sons, particularly Shedeur, who is currently with the Browns. It's a deeply emotional and strategic decision. The idea of reuniting with Shedeur in Dallas is a compelling story, one that could resonate with fans and media alike. But the logistical hurdles are formidable: draft picks, roster moves, cap space, and the current NFL landscape all factor into whether this dream could become reality. Plus, with Schottenheimer in place now, some might wonder if the Cowboys are already moving toward a more traditional, stable coaching approach. But history has shown us that Jerry Jones is not afraid to make bold moves. Look at how he brought in multiple high-profile stars and made blockbuster trades. If Sanders were to express serious interest, and if the circumstances aligned, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Dallas could make a move, especially if they believe Sanders could be the missing piece to finally push them over the top. And let us not forget about the potential cultural and motivational boost. Sanders' return would be a rallying point for the entire organization. His leadership style, his ability to inspire, and his deep understanding of what it takes to win at the highest level could be exactly what the Cowboys need to get back into the championship conversation. His experience, both as a player and a coach, and his proven track record of motivating young talent, especially in college, could translate well at the NFL level. Of course, the road to bringing Sanders back isn't without hurdles. The financial considerations, the emotional weight of leaving Colorado, and the current NFL coaching landscape all pose challenges. But the fact remains that the story is alive, and the possibility is tantalizing. It's a storyline that could dominate headlines in the coming months, especially if the Cowboys stumble early or if Sanders' situation in Colorado changes dramatically. Now, let us talk about the bigger picture. What does this mean for the NFC East? Well, if Sanders were to take over the Cowboys, it would send shockwaves through the division. The Eagles are already a powerhouse, the Giants are trending upward, and Washington is rebuilding with a new regime. Adding someone like Sanders who commands respect and attention could give Dallas an extra edge, energize the fan base, and potentially alter the division's power balance. It's a bold move, but in today's NFL, bold moves are often what separate the champions from the rest. And what about the long term? Well, if Sanders does decide to return and take the helm, it could set a new precedent for the franchise's culture. His ability to connect with players, his leadership style, and his high football IQ could help Dallas develop a more dynamic, motivated team capable of competing at the highest level year after year. Plus, his name alone could attract other talented players and coaches who want to be part of a winning, energized environment. As we wrap up, it's impossible not to feel the excitement and anticipation building around this story. It's one that combines nostalgia, ambition, family, and strategic planning all into one. Will Deion Sanders return to the NFL? Will he make Dallas his home again? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: this is a story that Cowboys fans need to keep their eyes on. The next few months could be pivotal, not just for the franchise, but for the entire NFL landscape. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Cowboys are at a critical juncture. They have the talent and the history, but they need that extra spark, a leader who can elevate the entire organization. Deion Sanders, with his blend of charisma, football genius, and cultural impact, could be that spark. His return would be a story for the ages, a chapter in Cowboys history that fans would talk about for decades. And for those of you watching, it's a story that is still unfolding, full of potential and possibility. Will we see Coach Prime back in Dallas, or will he continue building his legacy in Boulder? Whatever happens, one thing is clear: this is a story you don't want to miss. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. Do you believe Sanders could be the missing piece? Would you welcome his return with open arms? Or do you think the logistical challenges are just too great? Whatever you think, share it with us. This is your team, your story. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news. Thanks for riding along with me today, and as always, go Cowboys.